Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
And now there's two. The latest NBA All-Star ballot results are in, and the Kings now have two players on the list as Domantas Sabonis has entered the rankings, finishing 10th in the front court in the Western Conference. LeBron still leads all vote getters. The four players behind him have not changed as Nikola Jokic, Anthony Davis, Zion, and Andrew Wiggins round out the top five. In the backcourt, nothing has changed in the top three: Steph Curry, Luka, and Ja Morant, while the Kings' De'Aaron Fox, he still sits in the 10th spot, right behind Devin Booker, 9th, and Austin Reeves. Yeah, Austin Reeves, he's 8th. Out in the Eastern Seaboard, Giannis is now overtaking KD as the leading vote getter and in the front court. They're followed by Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, and Jimmy Butler. In the backcourt, Kyrie Irving, Donovan Mitchell, and the Celtics' Jaylen Brown round out the top three. Brown entered the top three for the first time, surpassing James Harden. We have a pair of thumb injuries to report as the Mavs will be without their big man Christian Wood for at least a week or so. The Mavs reported Wood fractured his thumb in last night's game. He'll be evaluated in about a week, according to the squad. In the Big Apple, the Knicks reported Mitchell Robinson fractured his thumb in the game versus the Wizards yesterday, and that he's already had surgery this morning to repair the thumb. He will be reevaluated after 3 weeks. On the diamond, the Kansas City Royals agreed to a one-year deal with former Yankee Aroldis Chapman for $3.75 million. Those are your Sac Sports 1140 headlines. I'm Jay Johnson. It's 3 p.m. and the Kings are in third place. Here to talk about it, Nick and Ramie. It's the Cattles and Ramie show. That's next.
Not the boring, generic milquetoast stuff coming from the network in Connecticut.
I describe him as the best, obviously.
Cattles.
He throws it out there, speaks his mind. That's cool.
And Ramie.
He's supposed to make people laugh. He's just an expert at it.
Cattles and Ramie.
Live and local in the afternoon.
Sactown Sports.
A landscape-changing day for Sacramento sports radio. We'll get to that in about 10 minutes or so. But Ramie,
Nick,
what a night, my man.
what a night indeed.
What a great night last night watching Kings and the Lakers, and now your Kings. Today, January 19th, 2023, on this Thursday, are 25-18, 7 games above 500, and they've won 5 straight, and as Frankie C. Carticelli noted in his column today on SactownSports.com, this is the second time that the Kings have held a winning streak of 5 or more this season. The last time that happened, Ramie, if you were wondering, in franchise history was 2004-2005.
Wow.
And we're now talking about the number 3 seed in the Western Conference.
That's what I was waiting for. That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for you to get to that part.
Number 3 seed in the Western Conference.
Tell me this ain't a playoff team.
I mean,
Somebody's.
how can you not be
Tell
excited?
me this ain't a playoff team.
How could you not be all in on this team? How could you not believe? I said to Kelly last night after they won, I said, man, they're 25-18 now. I predicted they'd win 37 games. They already have 25 wins. It's the middle of January.
Nick, they're a half game out of the 2 seed. They're 1 game out of the 1 seed.
This is.
Did you hear what I just said?
This is bananas. When you look at this, this is, when you look at how they're doing, they're actually 6 games behind the 1 seed. When you look
you're
at
right.
this,
I'm sorry.
The Nuggets are better.
And 4.5 games.
Forgot to carry the Y.
Yeah, I did. I was looking at this wrong. My bad.
But you are a half game behind the Grizzlies for the 2nd seed. And let me remind people out there, the Grizzlies have won 11 games in a row. The Nuggets have won 8 games in a row. So it's not that you're not playing well. You've won 5 games in a row. It's the fact that the Grizzlies are just raking in wins, and the Nuggets are raking in wins. The good news is the Pelicans have lost 2 in a row. They're now down to the 4th seed. The Mavericks have lost 3 in a row. They're now down to the 5th seed. The difference between you and the 3 seed and the 5 seed Mavs right now, you're 2.5 games up. You're starting to create that separation.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
It's a beautiful thing, man. It is a beautiful thing.
I did a little research this morning.
Oh,
Nick.
did you?
Can I throw a little something at you?
You sure can.
Teams that were the 3 seed on January 19th and dropped out of the playoffs. The Nets It happened to them. Well, they didn't drop out of the playoffs, but they dropped into the play-in, ended up the 7th seed last year. That was after Kevin Durant got injured. The Spurs, they dropped to the 7th seed in 2018. That was the year Kawhi Leonard played 9 games and then disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
For the rest of the season.
That started the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Bulls, back in 2016,
Condolences.
were the only team to drop out of the top 8 altogether.
Oof.
And that was the season after Derrick Rose's second knee injury. And I can tell you from being in Chicago at the time, it was a season of complete chaos. It was when Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler were literally fist fighting in the locker room.
Must have been fun.
Tom Thibodeau had lost complete control of that locker room. It was just chaos. So that's in the last 20 plus years. Two teams have dropped out of what would now be the play-in picture, and only one team has dropped out of the playoffs altogether, being the 3 seed on January 19th.
When we talk about being beyond the halfway point and why we all need to start to believe, if you haven't started to believe yet, is what Ramie's telling you. Like, this is not the first 15 games. This is not the first 25, not the first 30. You're past the halfway point. You have a 5-game winning streak. My wife just chatted me up, and Dave left the PC up on the good old machine out here. So, hi, Kelly. How are you? She says, actually, she wants me to tell you this.
I was wondering what that was.
You know what the message was?
What's that?
You can tell Ramie.
Yes.
Hold on. It just disappeared.
Okay.
The message is, you can tell Ramie I'm eating ketchup on my eggs.
That's a crime, dude. That's a crime. Why not hot sauce, Kelly? Ketchup on eggs? It adds nothing.
That was the message that just distracted us for a second.
And if Kelly's listening, I did bring those tamales for her.
Nice. She's fired up about that.
Nice.
No pun intended.
Outstanding.
So we're talking about now beyond the halfway point. You're sitting smack dab right on a 5-game win streak in the 3rd position in the Western Conference. And it gets even better. On this great day for Kings fans, it gets even better because
I feel like this is an infomercial all of a sudden.
But wait,
there's more.
There's more. I'm gonna patch a hole in a boat with a piece of tape. But when you're watching this team last night, you not only have everything we just told you, 7 games above 500 since the first time in like 05. You've won 5 straight games. You're the 3 seed in the Western Conference. You're a half game away from being the 2 seed behind the Grizzlies, only because Memphis has won 11 straight games. Not only that, you beat the Lakers, which is always great. It's always good vibes when you beat the Lakers. And on top of that, you did all of it without Domas last night. Mm-hmm. And what Domas has meant for this basketball team, we all know. To win that game last night without Domas, after that first quarter, which was not a great start defensively, you figured out a way. And one of the major reasons why was Rashawn Holmes. And here was Holmes last night talking about the team being the 3 seed.
I mean, we just want to just stay focused, like I take it one game at a time. We all know, these fans, what they deserve to see. They deserve to see this team in the playoffs. And so that's our focus, but not just the playoffs, continue to get better and continue to see where this team can go. I feel like the sky is honestly the limit. So we just want to continue to take it one game at a time, continue to get better, and, we'll take it from there.
Ryan in Sactown asks, eggs at 3 p.m. I have no justification. So there was Holmes saying, hey, 3
Eggs
seed.
are good any time of day.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Feeling good, feeling great. Understanding that, yes, there's a lot of basketball to play, but this is a good spot we're in. This is exactly what we want. We want to be in the conversation. Here was Coach Mike Brown.
Our guys have belief now, and I've said it, since the beginning of the season. A team that believes, in my opinion, is a dangerous team, and this group does. And so, again, just the way they've embraced the role and supported one another is second to none, in my opinion.
That's so true, man.
That's a beautiful thing.
A team that believes is a very dangerous.
A team that believes is a dangerous team.
That goes for anything. That goes for anything, man. It starts right there. It starts between the ears and believing that you can, and not just believing because you believe, you know what I mean? Because there's
this is tangible.
Force,
this is tangible.
But believing because you put in the work, because you trust the work that you put in, and because you trust your talent and the talent of the guys around you, plus that work, that you can go out there and win just about every game that you step on the floor. That's a game changer.
Let me ask you this, and I want everybody to think about this. If I told you before the game last night, no Domas, and you were going to shoot 9 for 30 from 3-point land, What would you think?
They'd lose.
Yeah.
And it was probably ugly.
No Domas, not shooting well. Oh, the offense must have been clunky. And it
early
probably
on,
was ugly.
The Lakers led 39-28. They had 24 points in the paint in the first quarter. I don't know about you, Nick. I was like, oh boy, this is not going to be, because the Lakers put up 72 points in the paint last time these two teams played. Put up 24 in the first quarter. After that, the Kings outscored them 30-26 in the paint in the second quarter, third and fourth. And that was the absolute game changer. The three wasn't there. Domas wasn't there. Their defense was better than it's been, and especially around the basket, the defense was better than it's been, and that's how they won the game. And I've talked about this throughout the season, Nick, and it's no surprise that they're on a 5-game win streak when they've found that thing again where they have multiple ways to win basketball games.
This is not hyperbolic. This is the best day that you've had as a Kings fan since 2006.
I might go further.
It's the best day you've had.
This might be hyperbolic. I'm going to say since the Chris Webber era.
You just can't help yourself. You can't help
What
yourself.
do you mean?
No, I mean, getting to the playoffs is a better day than this.
This is one of the best.
I said since then.
But here's the
Not
thing.
as good as that.
I sent you guys my Joe Burrow celebration picture to that game.
Here's one more note. Here's one more note to feel very good about this team right now. They're 11-9 on the road. They continue to win on the road. Good teams win on the road. Bad teams don't win on the road. That's just how it works in any sport. If you win on the road, it usually means you're pretty freaking good. And let's not forget, the schedule is easier moving forward than it was through the first 40 games. Great vibes today. Great night last night. We want your thoughts.
Am I out of line?
Best day. Fala told you were. Best day as a Kings fan since 06. 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like us, and that means more eyeballs will get to watch us. That's how the algorithm works. So let's kick the crap out of that algorithm.
And last check, we were 5 away from what'd they say? 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. Get us there.
We're getting closer and closer and closer.
It's a nice number.
Closer and closer. It is a very good vibes Thursday.
Tell a friend.
Very good vibes Thursday. We'll get to your reaction on the Kings. Also, the landscape of Sacramento sports radio has changed. More on that in 90 seconds.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on your afternoon home for Kings talk and more
This is Cattles and Ramie.
on Sactown Sports.
It is 3:14 on this Thursday, which means it's time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. Before we get to your reaction on the Kings and also a landscape-changing day here for Sacramento Sports Radio, we'll get to that in a minute. Something very important has been brought to my attention by the tall Chinese guy in the YouTube channel.
Excuse me?
Yeah, that's his name. Tall Chinese
okay.
guy. YouTube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Check us out, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Don't forget to subscribe. We're just a few away from hitting 5,000 subscribers, which would be a great number to hit as we continue to roll with the Kings. So I've been watching at times some of the stuff that we do on the show here on the YouTube channel at night, right? I go home, I'll catch like a few minutes and see how we did and stuff, and kind of self-scouting. And as I watch the YouTube channel, I have been more and more bothered by the view. The fact that you look so big and then I look so small.
Well,
like if you look at it, I look miles away.
Is your chair really low? Dave and I talked about this once.
I'm glad you guys talked to me about it. This is what happens. Everybody just talks. Oh, we should probably say something, but we won't. So tall Chinese guy says.
We talked about it on the air.
Get him a higher chair. So hold on one second. I want to see.
Is it your chair or is it the camera? I feel like we should zoom in on you a little bit more.
All right.
That looks good.
Is that better?
Hold on.
You came down a little bit. But yeah, that looks good.
Is that better?
Because we have to get the Sactown Sports.
That's right. We got to get the. I
mean, do you need like? I mean, you can't be at
the
all
branding. The branding right here.
I feel like you're still kind of low.
Well, that's because the camera is pretty much
the
right up against your face.
The camera subtracts 6 inches. We all know that.
Yes.
Careful.
Fact. So that's the issue. The camera is very close to you. The camera for me is across the room.
We can't zoom it in or tilt it down a little bit. You're still only
then we lose the Sactown Sports logo.
I know.
Listen, small improvements at a time, okay?
You're still.
You got to crawl. You got to crawl before you walk, Ramie. As
you're
I
like
said.
less than half the screen. It's a weird shot,
but we've got to get the Sactown Sports.
I understand that. I understand.
But it's just said that.
I get it.
All right, enough. We have some big news. And I said yesterday when I told everybody that I'm no longer program director of the station. You can check out the podcast about that, SactownSports.com if you care. But I did kind of give you a little bit of a hint yesterday. I said, we might have some announcements later on in the week.
A little spoiler. And
so today at 8 a.m., Dave and Jason in the morning announced the gigantic news. And this is no bull. This is a landscape changing kind of day here in Sacramento.
I said today on Twitter, this is a Sabonis-like acquisition. It's a franchise changer.
It's monumental. And for those who might not know, if you're living under a rock, Deuce and Mo are back. Sactown Sports, they have joined us yet again. They are back. We are very excited about this. They will be doing the midday show from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. starting this Monday, the 23rd. So Deuce and Mo will lead into Cattles and Ramie, which means, if you're wondering, Cattles and Ramie, we add an extra hour. So instead of 3 to 6, starting on Monday, you and I will be 2 to 6.
More of this.
More of this. For those that hate us, we apologize. For those that like us, we got another hour.
More of this, if you could believe it. They thought more of Cattles and Ramie is a good idea. But on the Deuce and Mo show, man, I think I do think that's a landscape changer, Nick. And every time we talk about should fill in the blank team go get fill in the blank player, and it's a good player, I'm like, yeah, like more good players on a team is a good thing. And we just added some more good players to the team. We're local now, 6A to 6P. And I don't know Deuce and Mo personally, but I've talked to people who do, and it seems like we're adding some good people to the team too. And that always helps as well.
And I don't hopefully have to deal with any more emails from people yelling at me about Jim Rome.
Yeah, that's really bothering you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't need them in my life. Somebody emailing me, calling me names. I do.
Delete. That's all you got to do.
But now we know the plan. The plan was the plan. Again, I told some people in the YouTube channel a few weeks ago to try to be patient and they'll see what's going on. All right, I'm sure. But here we are.
You told people on the internet to be patient.
Well,
that's great.
I mean, our YouTube channel. I have more respect for our listeners, Ramie, than you do, obviously. But I will say this, means that from 6A to 6P, live and local here on Sactown Sports starting on Monday. Live and local across the board, which is great. And it's due, as I said yesterday, to the improvements we've seen in the last year before I stepped down to just be a host so I can gain some sanity back in my life. The improvements have been there. The ratings have improved. The digital audience has grown exponentially. Sales, the sales world has done very well in the last year. We've added to the staff, and now we're adding programming. So this is momentum. This is a train that's heading down the track. And hopefully many of you are jumping aboard because we are very happy. I will say, me personally, Ramie said, good talent, good people. Look, I actually reached out to Deuce and Mo back in February when I was PD, last February. And I talked to them about maybe joining us part-time because we didn't have a full-time opening, on the schedule. You have to get this okayed by people up top and all that stuff, and budgets come into play. Yeah, it's a whole thing. So I reached out to them in February, and I had conversations with both Deuce and Mo and wanted them to be a part of this brand. And I'm so happy that the opportunity opened up full-time and that they have accepted and they're joining us. I think they're talented. They're obviously local. They have a great vibe about them if you've watched them and followed them. They are tremendous on social media, and I think it's onward and upward for this station and this brand and for us social media-wise and for Ramie and I. Now Ramie and I have actually 2 local talents who will lead into us versus a taped national show, which is good.
No disrespect.
No disrespect.
To all of you who are emailing me.
That's right.
With
So
displeasure.
And congratulations, by the way, also to Jason Ross. I know myself, but Jason also wanted to go local when he was PD, before I came in. And we had that conversation. And we're both very happy that this was able to be accomplished. And especially nowadays, like radio jobs, trust me, I know not many of you pay attention, but there's a lot of people losing jobs now. We're adding a show, we're adding programming. So thanks to upper management for doing that. Thanks to corporate for adding a show. And I think giving what most people here in Sacramento want, which is more coverage, more Kings talk, more local conversation.
And
so
another hour
excited.
of Cattles and Ramie.
Yes.
That's especially what they want.
Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports. So a little bit of your reaction here about the Kings, because this is just a tremendous, tremendous day. And I will also mention, since Poker Pro Eric asked, Simone is okay. She's fine. She's joining us starting Monday. The Storms.
She is far from okay. But she is doing well, and she is here.
The Storms pushed us back. Simone had to train her replacement.
Long story.
And so it kicked us back a few days. So she'll be with us starting on Monday. Let's see. Sizzling bacon. I'm feeling good. Starting to believe. Then Ramie brings up those only one team has dropped, and I feel like it would be the most Kings thing to do.
Stop it. Stop it. Let go of that.
Greg Hyatt says, the light the beam chant inside the Lakers house was pretty epic.
Pretty cool.
Yes, it was.
It was pretty cool.
A thing of beauty. Absolutely loved it. Was fantastic. Silent wondering. I saw a report somewhere that Sabonis wasn't at practice today. He was not at practice today. We will see what happens tomorrow. Again, it's a non-COVID illness. So, hopefully these guys get over it. When you travel as a team, a lot of people, get sick and it gets passed on, and that's how this kind of works, which is an unfortunate thing. All right, we got a caller on line 1. Is the caller Ramie?
Excuse me?
Ramees.
Oh, Ramees.
All right.
Okay.
Ramees. Hey, Ramees. How's it going, my man?
Real quick. Hey, just don't let me hang up because I got 2 things. So the Kings, man, great, man. I'm so happy that our Kings are playing well. Now I want to switch it up to my Cowboys. I know I called you last year, Cows, and I said my Cowboys were going to win, but we lost. But this year's a different year. This Niner team has not faced a Cowboy team like this. We faced a Niner team like this by playing Philadelphia twice. And I just think that rookie quarterback in San Francisco, he got his hands full doing with these Cowboys. I can't believe how phenomenal my Cowboys played against the Buccaneers. I wasn't shocked, but I was more shocked about how much the defense was just going after Brady. And those little dinks and dunks that all these Niners fans are talking about Purdy's going to do, that crap's going to stop on Sunday, because I'm very positive that this year finally might be my Cowboy year, man. But, hey, Cattles,
yes.
Do not go to the game tomorrow, man. Do not take my game.
Thanks, Ramees. Yeah,
I want to hear from Ramees on Monday. We start at 2, by the way. We go on the air at 2 on Monday. I want to hear from him then.
I honestly tweeted out last night, I'm legit getting concerned. It's a 5-game win streak now, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm going to go tomorrow.
Yeah, it is. Oh, you got to go tomorrow.
I got to try to break the
We're
curse.
giving you all the good luck charms. It'll be fine. You're going to be fine.
Yeah, you should go with him, Ramie.
I've got that. I've got that sinking feeling.
You want me to be the good luck charm that I send with him?
I've got the sinking feeling. By the way,
can we arrange that? Is it too late to arrange that? That I'm the good luck charm that goes with Nick?
You'd have to replace Kelly. I don't know if I want to have that conversation. So, by the way, speaking of tomorrow, Cattles and Ramie, we will broadcast live from the International Sportsman's Expo at Cal Expo. Learn more about the International Sportsman's Expo at sportsexpos.com. Again, it's sportsexpos.com. The Kings get help from an unexpected hero last night. That's next.
Sactown Sports goes 100%.
Results are in, and the Kings now have 2 players on the list as Domantas Sabonis has entered the rankings, finishing 10th in the front court in the Western Conference. LeBron still leads all vote getters. The 4 players behind him have not changed as Nikola Jokic, Anthony Davis, Zion, and Andrew Wiggins round out the top 5. In the backcourt, nothing has changed in the top 3, Steph Curry, Luka, and Ja Morant, while the Kings' De'Aaron Fox, he still sits in the 10th spot, right behind Devin Booker, 9th, and Austin Reeves. Yeah, Austin Reeves, he's 8th. Out in the Eastern Seaboard, Giannis is now overtaking KD as the leading vote getter and in the front court. They're followed by Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, and Jimmy Butler. In the backcourt, Kyrie Irving, Donovan Mitchell, and the Celtics' Jaylen Brown round out the top 3. Brown entered the top 3 for the first time, surpassing James Harden. Pitching it over to football, there were tons of movements around the league when it comes to coordinators. The Bucks fired Byron Leftwich after 4 seasons as the offensive coordinator. Up the coast in Baltimore, the Ravens, they'll also be without their new OC as Greg Roman resigned today from the position. On the other side of the ball, the Dolphins chose to fire their defensive coordinator, Josh Boyer. Boyer had been the DC for the last 3 years in Miami. Those are your Sac Sports 1140 headlines. I'm Jay Johnson. Coming up, more of the Cowboys and Ramie Show. It's next.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
It is 3:32 on this Thursday. This time check brought to you by West Coast Men's Health Acoustic Wave Therapy.
Vote Kings.
Vote Kings indeed. We'll get to that in a little bit.
It's working.
It is working. And it's all because of you, I think.
Of course.
You're pleased.
Yes.
You're pleased towards Kings fans to continue to vote has worked its magic. And I think Saturday is the last day that fans can vote.
I should go to the All-Star game.
So clock's ticking. I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
That might be a reach.
All right.
So
Pump it back a little.
Getting ready for the game last night, and we find out that Domas is not going to play, and immediately you go, okay, who's going to play in the middle, right? You got Holmes. Len was out because of the non-COVID illness as well, but Len hasn't played in a while, and he's pretty not a piece of this rotation, as we know. So you had Holmes, you had Mezzi, and you had maybe Trey Lyles, right? Keita, was Keita active last night? I don't know if he was active. Is he Stockton still? Was he?
I think he was inactive.
Okay.
I want to say I saw him on the pregame report as inactive.
So what was going to happen, right? What was going to happen? Who was going to play? Who was going to get those minutes?
He was inactive.
That's what I thought. I didn't see him. So Rashawn Holmes steps up, and he steps up big, Ramie, last night. 16 and 11. He shot 7 of 7 from the field. More impressed by the minutes he played, not just the game that he played, but this is somebody who has not been getting minutes.
Did you see him after the game?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Post-game interview.
Deuce and Mo were interviewing him in the post-game.
Over.
And he literally had his hands on his knees, bent over like, I'm about to just pass out. 31 minutes from Rashawn Holmes last night. 31 big minutes for this team. Here was Holmes in the postgame.
We got to do it together. You know, Domas is not a guy you're just going to be able to replace with one person. You know, what he brings to this team, you know, we can't replace. So we just wanted to come out there, do it by committee. Everybody stepped up tonight to get this win, and it's a team win, great team win, and I was happy I was able to play a part.
He also got the DPOG chain after the game in the locker room. And as you mentioned, 31 minutes, he seemed like he was gassed. Rashawn, were you gassed?
Yeah, I left it all out there, honestly. You know, I just wanted to do what I could to help my team get the win, play as hard as I could. So I'm happy I was able to make the free throws, happy I was able to get the win.
And again, I mean, you want to talk about being an all-out professional. Somebody who is not playing much at all, is not really a significant part of this rotation. You know he wants to play, but he hasn't been playing. And he could easily just, not care. He could easily go out there and not be professional.
Yep.
He could easily go out there and not be conditioned enough to give you 31 good minutes. That was a professional in the truest form. That was the personification of professionalism from Rashawn Holmes last night.
It does make me wonder though, Nick, if he is the consummate professional and great teammate that a lot of people went out of their way to say last night. You know, when he has a game like this, people go, "Hey man, that's because he's been putting in the work. He shows up every day for practice." If all that is true, so there apparently isn't anything going on behind the scenes that we don't know about that's got him in the doghouse, so to speak. And if he's still capable of doing what he did last night, why haven't we gotten a bigger dose of Rashawn Holmes with Mike Brown looking for a backup center?
Well, when he's played, he hasn't played great. He hasn't played well. And I think Coach Brown is one of those guys where it's like, man, you got to show me. I'm going to give you minutes. If I give you that chance, you've got to be able to go out there and show me that you are capable of carrying those minutes. And when he's been given the opportunity, he hasn't been consistent enough and he hasn't been productive enough. For whatever reason, last night, the light was on and it looked like, okay, here I go. Now, maybe, look, I don't want to play psychoanalyst here, but maybe it was, wow, they really need me, right? Domas was not there. He knew he was going to get minutes, so maybe he was a little bit more comfortable. Maybe he wasn't thinking as much and just playing because he knew he was going to get the minutes.
Right.
And he wasn't worried about, man, if I mess up here, if I mess up there, I'm going to be taken out of the game. I might not be able to play any more minutes tonight. I might not play for the next 2 or 3 weeks. We've seen that with Coach Brown, right? We've seen guys play, get good minutes. Terrence Davis is the perfect example. I mean, that guy played a number of good games for a stretch, and now he can't get on the floor. He can't get on a floor during a blowout. So, you know, I think I think there's
definitely a mental aspect to coaching and knowing your guys and how to push the right buttons to get the most out of them. And maybe with Rashawn Holmes, the way to get the best out of him is maybe he just needs a little time to warm up and needs a certain amount of minutes to get things going. But B, maybe he just needs to show up every night knowing what his role is. And if you gave him that and said, we're going to give you like a 2-week stretch of road to be the backup center.
Right.
And don't do your thing. You're not going to get pulled off the court. You're not going to get taken out of the rotation. We're just going to give you 2-3 weeks and see if you can run with this thing. Maybe that's what he needs. I'm not saying he's going to supplant Domas or anything. I'm just saying maybe he could be, if not the answer, part of the answer to the backup center question.
All you need is a solid 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All you need is a solid 10 minutes. And I'll say this too. Worst case scenario, his trade value just got bumped up a little bit.
A little bit.
Like if he's not going to be here for the long term, if you have to deal Rashawn Holmes to make money work in a trade, with that game last night, at least he showed NBA scouts and GMs that he can still play a little bit because he just has not been good this year. But I can't speak any higher of Rashawn Holmes, and I've spoken about him in this segment. I think he's just been absolutely terrific last night. And, you know, putting up 16 and 11, playing some pretty good defense, giving you 31 valuable minutes. Like I said, worst case scenario, man, maybe he just bumped up his value a little. Guests, every time they show up on this program, they're on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Kings fans took over L.A. and more from last night's game coming up.
Sactown Sports goes 100% live and local.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Starting January 23rd. Tune into Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Followed by the return of Deuce and Mo.
Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Followed by Cattles and Ramie from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. You wanted more local? We're giving you more local on Sactown Sports. Your local sports leader.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Clear and cold tonight with temperatures dropping into the mid-30s by Friday morning. We'll end up in the mid-50s in the afternoon with plenty of sunshine. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
When it's cold and rainy outside, everyone knows Bonnie is leading the way home. Right now, stay warm and cozy with a $79 furnace tune-up. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Schedule an appointment today at Bonnie.com.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit.
Folks, there's been some fumbles on the way to the big game, but he's been getting some help to get it done tonight. Here's the throw. And he's off to the races. He might go all the way. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10, touchdown. He did it, folks. He did it.
Regain and optimize your sexual performance, drug-free and surgery-free. The Gainswave treatment will help you get that bedroom touchdown. See what Dr. Dan Botha and his team at Gainswave can do for you. Visit gainswavecalgary.ca.
It all started with a group of cowboys who broke from the mold and wanted more. 30 years later, the ride continues, and the professional bull riders have never been more ranked.
The best ever! We were here for it!
Don't be Celebrate 30 years with 3 huge nights this February 3rd through 5th at the Golden One Center in downtown Sacramento. Stop by Loop Neighborhood Market, where Monster Energy is available now.
Are you scared to open your energy bill each month for fear of how much you might owe that month? Well, did you know that replacing or repairing your roof can have an immediate and drastic effect on not only your energy efficiency, but also saving you money each month? Hey, Jason Ross here, and I needed a new roof. And when I was researching companies and talking with friends, one company stood out as the premier company in our region, and that's ACR Solar and Home Services. I set up a meeting with John, the owner, and Joe, the roofing expert, and the office staff. Well, they were amazing. They worked with my schedule, set up an appointment to come out to the house, and walk me through how they could save us money and protect our home. If your roof is showing signs of wear and tear and you think you might have a leak, or you simply want to save money on your energy bills, well, I encourage you to do what we did and research ACR Solar and Home Services. ACR Solar and Home Services, your Sacramento region's premier solar and roofing company dedicated to quality, value, and integrity since 1979. That's acrsolar.com.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pi customer.
As a small business, we're always looking for ways that we can offer the quality product and get some cost savings.
Meet Michelle from J.J. Pfister Distilling Company, a small business in California. When looking for workers' comp coverage tailored to the company's needs, she discovered Pi Insurance.
We heard about Pi Insurance being geared for a small business, gave Pi a call, and ended up switching.
Is your small business overpaying for workers' comp insurance? See how much you could save at trypi.com. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate, so your workers' comp audit experience is simplified.
We saved about 30% off of our workers' comp insurance when we switched to Pi.
It's as easy as pie to get the savings you deserve. What are you waiting for? Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote in 3 minutes at trypi.com. That's trypie.com.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Eldridge, and so many more. Plus, a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $85. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Coors Light, E2 Family Winery, and Xfinity.
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
And Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
Coach Jay Triano will join us in 15 minutes, so stay tuned for that, Kings fans. Coach Triano joins us in 15 minutes. Great win last night. Before we get to Kings fans taking over L.A., which was beautiful to see and hear as the game ended, let's go to KC on the phones. KC wants to talk Kings. Hey, KC.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
What's up?
Doing well. So my question is, can the Kings, is it actually possible to re-sign Barnes right now during midseason? And if not, can you afford to keep him on the team and possibly lose him to unrestricted free agency at the end of the year? Or would it be better to trade him at the deadline?
Right. Casey, thanks for the phone call. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you listening. Yes, you can sign Harrison Barnes to an extension at any point. If you want to sign him right now, if he wants to sign a deal long-term to stay here, he could sign a deal long-term. As far as trading him, that's a great question, Casey, because we've had a conversation, Ramie, about HB and whether or not he should be on the block. How much do you need back in return now that he's played so well? Again, he played pretty well last night. This guy's been consistently giving you 17, 20 points a night over the past month and a half or so. And that's part of the question. As you get closer to the trading deadline, you keep HB. Let's say you keep HB for chemistry in the field, so to speak, but then you get to the end of the season and he walks. You don't sign him to an extension. He walks. Now you lose him for quote unquote nothing. Now, maybe Monty would argue, maybe others would argue, hey, we didn't lose him for nothing because he helped us get to where we got to this year.
Right. And I think that's the argument you make. And Nick, I would say 95% of the time, I'm against losing a guy for quote unquote nothing. This is one of the rare circumstances, the way it's playing out. I've said before, I think his value to the Kings has risen faster than what his value to the rest of the league is on the trade market. I don't think you're going to get anything in return that's going to help you win this season, or anyone in return that's going to help you win this season more than Harrison Barnes does. And I don't think they're in the business of making moves for the future and to make sure that they get something for Harrison Barnes that can help him a year or two or three down the road. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with that tactic, but the goal has been clear and set from the start of this season, and that's to be a playoff basketball team. Harrison Barnes helps you get there.
And now you sit 7 games above 500, firmly the 3 seed in the Western Conference, feeling great about last night. And it's always good. It's always good to beat LeBron James. Here was LeBron in the postgame. LeBron.
We don't have much room for error. We are limited with bodies. We play pretty much, almost everybody tonight. Just getting ready by a look. And so, until some of our big guys, our key guys get back, and, there's been a problem for us this year with 80 and with 80 and AR and Lonnie, guys who are huge in our rotation. We have to continue to play how we played the last couple of games, trying to play mistake-free basketball. But you've seen a few of the looks tonight. Sometimes the game of inches as well, just like football. But we don't have much room for error.
Yeah, you're missing some guys. Kings were missing Matthew Dellavedova last night,
yeah,
as well as Domas. Okay, we got through it without Delly last night. Say something. I know you don't have Anthony Davis. I know the Kings didn't have Domas, but come on, Dellavedova.
We all have our struggles, right?
Yeah, we all got the struggles. And let me just say this about Lakers fans.
They're the worst, aren't they?
The MVP chance for LeBron when your team is 20-25 is delicious. Like, what are we doing? You're 5 games under 500. MVP. Oh, what?
Last night I asked why is 7:30 tip off, and Verlon said Lakers fans need extra time to get there by the second quarter. And I know he was being sarcastic he was right. Like that place,
no, he wasn't being sarcastic.
That place was empty till about 3-4 minutes into the second quarter.
And you know what's great?
And then they were gone 3-4 minutes before the game. Why did you even go? You drove through LA traffic to watch like a little over 2 quarters of basketball?
That's precisely what I was going to say. You show up late, and in a 1-possession game, you leave early.
Just stay home. Dude, you got LeBron James.
And that doesn't add up, does it? Like, you're chanting MVP. You're chanting MVP for a guy that plays on a team that you leave early in a 1-possession game because you don't think they're going to win.
Yeah.
So he's the MVP of a team you have no belief in, that are 20-25 now.
And how did so many Kings fans get tickets that we could clearly hear light the beam chants at the end of the game?
Kings fans are everywhere. And they showed up in LA because Kings fans, I know this from experience being here last year. Chris and JJ told me first time the Lakers came to town, they said, watch, there'll be a lot of Lakers fans at Golden One. And they were right. Last year, the Kings weren't winning.
Mm-hmm.
Lakers fans showed up. They were squawking. They were cheering. They showed up at the NBC Sports California post game with their jerseys on behind Kenny Thomas and Mo, and they were all celebrating and going bananas. Well, last night they had to hear the chants, so
that's pretty cool.
And they had to leave early. I love watching them just scurry up the stairs to leave the place early. Yesterday, I asked the question, who plays defense? Who's going to play defense in this game, right? I said the first team that plays defense is going to win this game. And if you remember, Ramie, I said you don't even have to play 48 minutes of defense. The team that plays a couple of minutes of defense could win this game. And that's precisely what happened. The biggest stretch of this game to me was in the fourth quarter when the Kings held LA scoreless for more than 3 minutes. The Lakers did not score for more than 3 minutes. That was game, set, match.
Yeah.
They get a bucket or two during that stretch, they might win the game. And so all you needed to do was step up. But you mentioned this earlier in the show. My favorite number from last night, 24 points in the paint by the Lakers in the first quarter. From quarters 2 through 4, 26 total. They had almost as many points in the paint from the second quarter through the end of the game as they had in the first quarter. The Kings showed up defensively. They stepped up late. Here was Coach Mike Brown.
And, it looked like they were on track to get, 255 points in the paint at the beginning of the game because they had 24 points in the paint in the first quarter. They ended the game by, scoring 26 points in the paint combined quarters 2, 3, and 4. And so our guys are more than capable of protecting the paint and giving the multiple effort to get out to shooters. But it takes a commitment, a mental toughness, a physical toughness to do it every single possession. And sometimes you got to do it 2 and 3 times on a single possession. And so our guys, they showed they can do it tonight. And it's something that we have to embrace as a group going forward because it's going to be huge for our development, for our growth, and our ability to win, not only during the regular season, but in the playoffs as well.
Also, thank God for De'Aaron Fox. 31-6 last night, 20 points in the first half. He only had 1 bucket in the third quarter, but he finished with 9 points in the fourth quarter. And I was keeping track of this throughout the night when D. Fox sat down. Without Foxy on the floor, the Kings were outscored 29-16.
Oof.
They were minus 13. In the first quarter, when Fox sat down, he sat with about 5 minutes left in the first quarter. When he sat down, the Lakers immediately went on a 15-5 run. So Fox was big last night, and so was Kevin Huerter. Shout out to him. 8 assists, 1 turnover from Huerter last night. And, Huerter and HB, in that third quarter when Fox gave you only 2 points, Huerter and Barnes combined for 17 points in that quarter. So they picked up the slack for Fox. So Fox helped carry the team in the first half. Third quarter, HB, Huerter stepped up. And then fourth quarter, it was pretty much Foxy and Rashawn Holmes who closed the deal. So that's a great team win. That's a great team win.
I'll give you 1 negative, 1 positive from last night.
We don't need any negatives today.
Malik Monk, man, 1 for 9.
He was bad.
In 11 minutes. It was not good, and he continues to struggle off the bench. Keegan Murray.
The whole bench was bad.
Yes. Keegan Murray got a lot of praise after the game for his rebounding. I think he matched a career high with 10 rebounds last night. And that's a good sign. Mike Brown called him out publicly after his 0 rebound game. I think it was the last time they played the Lakers.
Yep.
And it's a good sign, and I'm not saying that there wasn't room for improvement in Keegan Murray's rebounding, but it also makes me wonder if Domas just grabs all the rebounds.
Well,
and the night that Domas isn't out there, Keegan Murray is able to grab 10 rebounds. You know what I mean?
Keegan's like,
there are only so many rebounds to go around, and Domas grabs so many of them. I wonder if he's making Keegan look bad in front of the boss.
Domas isn't around. I guess I'll attack the glass tonight. And I thought the team did a great job. Without Domas, it's a great point. Without Domas last night, the Kings were plus 11 on the glass. That's a great job of group rebounding, and it led to 20 second chance points. Without Domantas Sabonis, you need all those little things to be put together to win a game on the road, and that's precisely what happened, including, for the love of God, not giving up 100 points to Thomas Bryant and Dennis Schroeder.
That'll help.
Those guys thankfully scored a combined 13 points last night after scoring, 56 combined here at Golden One? Made Thomas Bryant look like Wilt Chamberlain when he was here at Golden One. 13 combined points from those two guys. Coach Jay Triano joins us next.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
For your everyday
It's Sactown Sports.
Second hour of the radio program on this Thursday, and we are very happy to be joined by Coach Jay Triano on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Coach, let me ask you first before we get into the game stuff. Does the staff and players tangibly feel the building of excitement over this team from the fan base? Do you guys, is it palpable to you?
Oh, for sure. It's unbelievable. It's a great experience. You know, I've been with a couple of organizations prior to coming here, and just the home crowd, you feel it here. You feel the energy. I talked to Doug Christie quite a bit. He keeps telling me, he goes, it gets crazy here. It gets crazy. And he said, this is similar to when he played. And you certainly feel it. It is like a playoff atmosphere for us, and it's a huge advantage for us. So let's keep it going.
I think even the most optimistic Kings fan and talking heads who do things like what me and Nick do for a living have been surprised and pleasantly so by what the Kings have done this year and exceeded our expectations. Is there any feeling of that in the building, or is there no ceiling on what you guys think you can do or expectations?
You know, it's interesting. We've kind of blocked everything out. You know, we don't really have limitations or restrictions for what we're trying to do. I think Mike, Coach Brown, has made it real evident from the very beginning that we're not going to be happy with wins. We're not going to be happy with losses. We're going to go to work every day, and we're just going to keep plugging away. And I think that's our focus on the process over the outcomes has really kept us in a straight line, driving towards the right direction. And you know, if we have a couple of games where we're not so good, we're going to address it. We're going to figure out why. We're not afraid to call guys out. Guys aren't afraid to call each other out. And I think that's one of the reasons we've been able to just stay kind of locked in right now. We don't want to hear the noise. We don't want to hear about how good we're doing. We just want to stay, present and locked in on every single game, really.
Coach Jay Triano with us. Coach, winning without Domas on the road last night. What's that say about this team?
Well, I think it says a lot. I think, our attention to the scouting reports, our attention to detail, guys who have not been playing, staying ready, the development of our players. I think that there's a lot of things that can be said, but I think having an offensive and a defensive system in place certainly helps. Having guys that, we make sure that even if they're not in rotation, they stay in shape. Rashard Holmes coming in last night and doing what he did was just phenomenal. And he was fired up to be able to do it because he's been itching at a chance to play. So you really feel good for the team, but you also feel good for some individuals who get a more of a chance when somebody steps up. And I think that, we've talked all along about the depth of our team. We've got very good players that maybe aren't even in rotation right now or that want to be playing more minutes. But I think that's the depth of our team. We're going to ride with whoever's going to help us win. If somebody goes down, we're going to have a guy step in. And last night was a perfect example.
We've heard stay ready a lot since Rashawn Holmes' game last night. And he's not the first one who was sort of called into action by an injury or a sickness. I remember a Terrence Davis game in Toronto earlier this year where he did something similar. What do you guys mean when you say stay ready? Can you give us a peek behind the scenes and what these guys who maybe aren't regular parts of the rotation, but still come up big when needed, what do they do to quote unquote stay ready, Coach?
Well, today's a good example. I mean, we got home last night, and I think by the time everybody was home, it was 2 a.m. The young guys who did not get enough minutes or who did not play the required number of minutes were in and playing live today at 11 o'clock. The vet players that played a certain number of minutes, those guys came in at noon. And so we all kind of met at noon. But when we meet at noon, there's guys that have been going 100% full scrimmage or skills and drills for at least an hour. So that extra hour is kind of help them, for their aerobic standpoint and for their physical standpoint so that they can stay basketball skill ready. And, it's just getting them here early. I mean, I'm sure they all got home at the same time, but they don't want to go in that extra hour early, but they do. They go in, they're professional, they get their work done. And I think times like that help these guys stay, on the same page as everybody else because, maybe they didn't play last night, but they got it in today. They'll still be ready to play in a game tomorrow.
Coach Jay Triano is with us. He's on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, one-stop Honda shop, Cattles, Ramie, Sactown Sports. Coach, I want to go back to Richaun Holmes specifically. I don't want to try to psychoanalyze anybody, try to jump into their head. But, when you watch Richaun this year, is there a chance that he's been pressing a little bit? And last night, there was no Domas, so he was a little bit more confident that he could just kind of get some minutes and he was just going out there and playing instead of trying to not make mistakes?
I think that plays a factor in everybody's role. We've had other games where, you play against teams or even your team is down a couple of players. The guy going in knows he's going to play. He knows that he can't be pulled if he makes a mistake or two because we just don't have the depth that night. Rich, last night, Rich probably felt the same way. Like, I'm going to play. I don't have to do anything in my first 2 minutes to warrant me staying on the floor. I'm going to have to play half a game at some point. Mezzi will come in for me, but I don't have the pressure of that. So I think psychologically there is that where, guys get a chance to play. But at the same time, I think also our style of play last night was a little bit different. We were much more pick and roll dominant last night than we normally are. We're one of the lowest pick and roll teams in the NBA. But with Rich, that's his strength, and we had to play to his strength. Domas' strength is playing off the dribble handoff and having him be a little bit more of a playmaker. So our style strategically at the offensive end last night was a little bit different. And I just thought overall defensively we were as I don't know, say shrunk into the lane and protecting the paint better than we have been in the past little bit. And I think Rich plays a big part of that because he's a big body and he's not afraid to be physical when players get in there.
Yeah, and Coach Brown before the Lakers game almost challenged his guys to do a better job of protecting the paint after 70-plus points put up by the Lakers last time these two teams met. Was that the main difference as you put it, shrinking into the lane and putting a little bit more manpower and big bodies down there to clog things up?
Yeah, for sure. It's no secret the Lakers this year, they're struggling with the 3-point shot. And when we played them last time, we just, there were too many holes and, their whole strategy is try to get to the rim, find a gap, get into the lane, see if they can get to the rim. And they were able to do that. And LeBron is so big and strong. He can go past guys. He can absorb contact and still get past you. Last night we were bound and determined to show him more bodies than we did the previous time that we played them. Make sure that he saw one or two guys, make them throw that pass. We knew that Christie might hit a shot or two, or Brown Jr. might hit a shot or two. Nunn hit a couple of shots, but we weren't going to overreact to those guys shooting when we knew LeBron was passing, and we want that because we don't want him putting it on the floor and getting inside where he can do damage.
Coach Jay Triano with us. Coach, just a few more for you, and again, thanks for your time. We've seen this happen several times this year, where last night, talking about points in the paint, 24 points in the paint in the first quarter for the Lakers, 26 points in the paint the rest of the game. Why have there been so many stretches here where it seems like you guys kind of lose that, ability to defend the paint and protect the paint, and then other stretches you do a good job of it? What are you lacking consistently to get that done?
I think the game starts, and I think everybody's in a little bit of a feeling out process. Like for me, offensively, I think we take too many middies early in the game, but guys are just starting to get into their groove. I'd like to see us drive and kick and shoot more threes early. At the defensive end, I think we were like, okay, well, we're doing a good job, and then all of a sudden it's a slap in the face. No, we're not doing a good enough job. We have to be shrunk more. Sometimes it takes a timeout. Sometimes it takes the halftime. But coaches on these guys, Jordy's on these guys. We got to, we have to be more shrunk to show more bodies. And I honestly think a lot of it had to do with the fact of who we were playing. You're playing against LeBron James. If you're not going to be in there, he's going to embarrass you. And I think it finally, got through to us after that first quarter. We better be inside in the lane, force them to take tough shots. They made a couple early in the game too. especially LeBron. LeBron, I think he made 2 threes in the first quarter.
Yep.
And it was like, holy smokes, is this going to happen? And then I think you start doubting yourself, whether are we protecting the lane too much and we're giving him these outside shots. But I think you have to play the odds in that situation. And, we were better at protecting the lane. And, of course, they cooled off and didn't make shots at the rate that they did in the first quarter.
We're talking about adjustments that your team has made defensively. I think it was the last time we talked to you that you said your goal is to get up 43 pointers a game. And all sports are about adjustments and adjustments to adjustments. Have you seen, are we at the point in the season yet where other teams have caught on to your goal to get up those 43-point shots and are defending you guys differently?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's so much teams defending us strategically every game because, teams have their defensive system. And, some teams will push out. I don't think there's too many games and too few practices where you can change your philosophy defensively. Lakers, the first part of the year, I think they made an adjustment halfway through the year to their whole, not just us, but to how they were going to defend. They were like number one at defending the rim and giving up a lot of threes. We had, spray attempts or where we get in the lane and kick out. We had over 20 and 25 the first 2 times we played them. We haven't been able to get up 33 since, but they're not as good at the rim as they were earlier in the year. So I think, teams try to figure out, well, are we going to take away the rim? Or are we going to take away the three? And, I think we struggle really when teams, try to take away the three. We don't get that 40 up. At the same time, we've got 2 great interior players. When Domas is healthy, he's rolling, and Foxy can get to wherever he wants on the court. So, last night was a good example. We only got up 33s last night, which is below par for us. But at the same time, when you look at the lineup that we had and the way that we had to play last night, it was probably a fairly fair number.
Really quick one for you, Coach. One last question for you. You guys have not won when I walk into the building, when I'm at Golden One. Tomorrow night, I plan on being at the game, and we're trying to break my curse. We're calling it the Cattle's Curse. Do you have any advice on how I could break this curse tomorrow night?
Yeah, I've got 2 tickets to the theater tomorrow night. If you could go to if you could go see this show, and then we'll let you know how the game went after the fact.
Coach, thanks. It's always great to catch up with you. We'll do this again soon. I appreciate you.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right, there goes Coach Jay Triano, Folsom Lake Honda Hotline.
Stay away.
Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Get out! We don't want you here. Oh my goodness, that was fantastic. I was thinking he'd say something good. He's got a really good person. He's really funny. I figured he'd be quick-witted enough. Sometimes you catch coaches off guard. They're like, wait a minute, what, huh?
I don't like telling coaches or players about things like that. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't impact. I don't think it impacts the play or their performance until they know about it. When you talk about curses and things like that, you know what I mean?
So you think Triano's gonna be thinking about me tomorrow night?
I just hope. Maybe he's like, this cattle. Where is this cattle's guy?
I don't think he'll.
At one point, you're gonna look down and he's gonna be staring right back at you.
Doing the fingers to the eyes.
Yeah, I see you.
I see you, Cattles. I told you to go to the theater.
This is your fault.
His other hand, he's got the 2 tickets to the theater. I told you, man. I told you. Oh, God. Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. The news continued to get better for the Kings today. Find out how in 90 seconds.
Sactown Sports goes 100% One brings Makloff magic, while the other, we're still trying to figure that out.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
We'll get to the Cattles curse in a little bit. Trying to break that thing tomorrow night. But first,
you're not going to just go to the theater.
No,
like Coach Triano offered.
No,
all right.
It's been quite the week for the Sacramento Kings. It has been great, and we were talking about this on the phone this morning. It's starting to get really fun. Like, it's been fun, but now it's starting to get really fun. It's getting amped up. 7 games above 500 at 25-18, alone as the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. 5-game win streak happening right now. And we kept that flowing. We kept the good vibes and the good feels flowing today, Ramie, when Domantas Sabonis showed up for the first time on the All-Star fan voting list at number 10 for front court players in the Western Conference.
Would you looky here? Would you looky here? Nick Cattles, as Kevin Garnett
Mike Brown scared fans into voting with that.
Anything is possible, right?
Yes.
Anything is possible.
Yep.
It can be done. It can be done. As we've been saying from the beginning, Nick.
I believed, you believed.
We believed in Kings fans. We believed in Kings fans and that they could make this happen and these guys could get the recognition that they deserve. And let's keep it going. Let's keep them moving up those ranks.
And Manny on YouTube, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Don't forget to give us the like. Most likes we've had in a long time today. So keep doing it for us. We appreciate all the help. Again, we need to punch that algorithm in the face with YouTube as they force us to ask you for likes. That's how the game works. So we appreciate it every time you do that. But Manny says, I am once again asking for everyone to vote in all caps for Fox and Sabonis. Yes. Keep voting. Keep voting.
Keep being better.
And MC Calcium in all caps. I just saw this. Do not go, Nick.
Stay away, man.
Stay away. But back to Domas. Look, he's making the All-Star team. He's an All-Star. He's going to be on the team.
Whether he gets to fan vote or not.
He's going to be on the team.
Yeah.
First of all, he deserves it. He deserves it. I've said that from the beginning, really going back 2-3 months ago. We started to see what he was going to be about 2.5 months ago. This season, he's just been ridiculously consistent, and he's always been consistent, but he's been consistently at a higher level this year. He deserves it. That's number one. But the reason why I'm telling you he's going to get on now, because the last few weeks I've been saying numbers game, and the national attention is starting to turn.
Yep.
We're starting to see national pundits talking about Domas as an MVP candidate. We're seeing guys like J.J. Redick going out there publicly and sharing his vote, saying, I voted Domas as a starter this year. We're starting to see that turn, Ramie.
And I think the Kings sort of being in that upper crust of the Western Conference.
The Kings winning.
Yes. When people see a team 3rd, 4th in the standings, they open up that roster and they go, how is this happening? And they start dissecting things and seeing who are the main players in that and who's making that happen. And I think because of that, or in part because of that, Domas is getting recognized and people are really seeing what kind of season he's having. If this is a losing Kings team, I don't think, and Domas is still doing what he's doing, the numbers look the same, etc. I don't think we're talking about a legitimate all-star berth.
I wouldn't feel confident enough to say it's going to happen.
No.
He might have been able to slide in. I mean, guys from losing teams still make it.
Sure.
But I mean, LeBron's going to make it every year, no matter what. His team can win 5 games. He's going to be there. But
J.J. Redick said it comes down to him and Lauri Markkanen.
It's not me nor you changing our thought on Domas, because we've said it from he's an all-star. It's the outside forces that we talk about, how these guys get squeezed out because of popularity contests and all that garbage. You're winning games. You're the 3 seed right now. I keep saying it. You're the best story in the NBA. You're getting national media attention. And that's why I said yesterday, when you've got Domas and Fox on ESPN's NBA Today, that means something, because other people nationally who might not give you the time of day are now noticing and going, wait a minute, what's happening? This light the beam thing just isn't some gimmick.
Yeah.
This is actually really cool. And they're one of the better teams in the Western Conference right now. They're 7 games above 500, and you've got Domas, who's in the top 3 or 4. You know, when you talk about certain analytics that can get you in there, like win shares, I think he's in it. He deserves to be in it. And Fox also remains number 10. Hopefully he can bump up above Austin Reeves, but he's
better.
He's still
be better.
He's still number 10.
Yeah.
And I think Fox will get into. But that great news continues to be a fantastic week. Hopefully I don't ruin it tomorrow night.
Vote Kings
Because the Cattle's curse.
Yes.
Now look,
I swear, man.
I feel like we're at a crossroads with this.
If it's just one game, if they just lose one game, like it's going to end the win streak, which that would suck. But if something happens where the whole fortune of this season turns around because you were in the building,
it's going to be your fault because now you're wishing it. You're like talking this into existence. I'm just talking about tomorrow night's game.
It's going to be hard to forgive.
I'm just talking about tomorrow night.
I'm just saying the last time you're in the building, Domas broke a ligament, which none of us even knew was possible.
It's true.
Yes.
Broken ligament. So I feel like I'm at a crossroads because they've won 5 straight.
Yes.
I feel the pressure is on me now. Like I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the heat. I'm starting to I am going to take responsibility for this loss and accountability if they lose.
Yeah, you
tomorrow
are.
night.
You're taking the heat.
So yesterday, we're trying to break the curse. The Kings have not won a game when I've walked into the building. Trying to change that. Simone's 5-0, something ridiculous. Ramie's 1-0. Verlad's voodoo is, Simone's sorcery is 5-0. Makloff's magic is 1-0. Verlad's voodoo
3-1.
3-1.
But that one shouldn't count because Trey Lyles didn't play.
Oh,
fact.
Fair. Yeah.
And JJ, in Golden 1, what are you? I can't hear him.
For Golden 1, I'm 5-2.
5-2.
5-2.
So
it's a really good record.
6-3 overall.
So that's 6 in the Golden 1 center only. We got 6-2. We've got 9-3. We've got 14-3.
14-3 between me, Chris, JJ, and Simone.
So we're trying to collect items from each person that's a part of this show. Yesterday, JJ gave me the cowbell. The cowbell is at home. It's on the living room pub table.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be packaged along with the other items tomorrow before I leave the house.
Nice.
So I can bring them along. Now I await Chris Verlad's and Simone's. So who's going first? I need the good luck charm, King's good luck charm. They're going to be presented to me in studio. If you're watching on YouTube, it's going to happen live. Here is Simone's.
Who's Simone bringing? What do we have here?
Clear quartz. What is that?
What is it? Oh, wow. She brought you crystals.
Press reboot.
Can I see that? Let me hold it up to my camera right here.
Press reboot on your curse with clear quartz. A multi-purpose essential for any crystal collection, known as a master crystal.
Wow.
Clear quartz is all about dimming the inner noise and clarifying your goals.
Oh, this is perfect.
The popular, I don't know what that word is, Geode?
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 I believe it's geode.
The popular geode supposedly has all-purpose healing properties. Ramie's ruining it by holding it right now.
What do you mean? I'm putting Makloff magic on this
Place
thing.
your new clear quartz in your pocket for beam absorption, which will in turn transfer to you and possibly shine away the bad light. The beam, baby, break the curse.
Wow.
You can't win with that. It's over.
It's a wrap.
Christmas gift.
All right. That's
really
impressive.
good. That's really good.
I got to have this in my pocket tomorrow night.
The power of the crystal.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Verlad's
Verlad
voodoo.
got?
What's the
I
item?
must say that was very thoughtfully thought out right
Oh,
there.
of course.
From Simone.
Oh,
wow.
my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Got the Al Bundy joint.
What do we got here?
It's a King's
Hold on,
bowling shirt, it looks
YouTube.com,
like.
Sactown Sports 1140.
The old logo.
YouTube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. We've got the Kings bowling shirt, Kingpin Classic.
Oh, wow.
Coming back. It's coming back. Old school logo on the pocket.
Next week, right?
All right. So I've got to, if I get this right,
Are you going to wear this?
I've got to put the quartz
in the pocket.
in the pocket.
Yes.
In the pocket.
Are you going to wear that? Does your germophobia prevent you from wearing that at all?
It'll get washed.
Okay.
It'll get a clear washing. Nice full wash and dry.
Just
tonight.
checking. Just making sure. All right.
All right.
We're off to a good start.
Pressure's on you now.
We're off to a good start.
I don't know. I got a cowbell. I
feel like the best thing I can give you is me.
Start over. We need a redo. We need a redo
I
on
should
that
just
one,
go to
Makloff.
the game. I feel like that's the best thing I could do.
All right, so there we have it. We've got the the cattle's curse. We're trying to get it under control, people. And I am going to ask you for your good vibes tomorrow during the show to carry this into tomorrow night against OKC. I'm feeling the heat, man. I am. A big man reportedly available. I'll tell you why the Kings should be involved next.
Cattles and Ramie. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather.
players on the list as Domantas Sabonis has entered the rankings, finishing 10th in the front court in the Western Conference. LeBron still leads all vote getters. The 4 players behind him have not changed as Nikola Jokic, Anthony Davis, Zion, and Andrew Wiggins round out the top 5. In the backcourt, nothing has changed in the top 3, Steph Curry, Luka, and Ja Morant, while the Kings' De'Aaron Fox, he still sits in the 10th spot, right behind Devin Booker, 9th, and Austin Reeves. Yeah, Austin Reeves, he's 8th. Out in the Eastern Seaboard, Giannis is now overtaking KD as the leading vote getter and in the front court. They're followed by Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, and Jimmy Butler. In the backcourt, Kyrie Irving, Donovan Mitchell, and the Celtics' Jaylen Brown round out the top 3. Brown entered the top 3 for the first time, surpassing James Harden. Pitching it over to football, there were tons of movements around the league when it comes to coordinators. The Bucs fired Byron Leftwich after 4 seasons as their offensive coordinator. Up the coast in Baltimore, the Ravens, they'll also be without their new OC as Greg Roman resigned today from the position. On the other side of the ball, the Dolphins chose to fire their defensive coordinator, Josh Boyer. Boyer had been the DC for the last 3 years in Miami. Those are your Sac Sports 1140 headlines. I'm Jay Johnson. Coming up, assistant Kings coach Jay Triano joins the fellas. Now more of the Cattles and Ramie Show.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and more.
This is Cattles and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
JJ, just trying to make sure everybody's paying attention. Jay Triano joined us at 4 o'clock. You can check him out on the podcast page, SactownSports.com. By the way, it is 4:33 on this Thursday. Time to check out West Coast Men's Health Acoustic Wave Therapy. Also want to tell you that myself
Good time to vote Kings.
Yes, it is. I want to tell everybody out there, myself and Ramie will be broadcasting live from the International Sportsman's Expo at Cal Expo tomorrow. Learn more about the International Sportsman's Expo at sportsexpos.com.
Let's see if we could get Kent to get you guys on one of the fishing things.
Let's see.
Yeah,
What
go and
fishing
actually
thing?
fish for fish in there.
Go like,
really?
like a fishing
Yeah.
expedition thing?
Oh,
There you go.
I'll
They
go
have like a
fishing.
huge tank with actual fish in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet it's easier to catch fish in there than in, say, a lake or
I would say
something else.
smaller space. Yeah, probably.
Hmm.
By the way, talking about the curse, Mr. All Read Everything says, hey, Nick, it's not you, so don't worry about it because every game I've gone to for the Kings since 1988, they've lost.
Shut up. That can't be possible.
I don't know, that's what he's saying.
I mean, how many games has he been to?
I don't know if he has it documented on video. You want him to bring it in? We could all watch it together and make sure that. How do I prove that wrong? I don't know.
That seems crazy.
Tall Chinese guy sending you good mojo, Nick. Thank you. I appreciate it, Tall Chinese guy. Again, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Give us that thumbs up so we can beat that algorithm. Drew Card, party with your cowbells like it's 2002. At cowbell, I feel like Kelly's going to want to take my knee out if I keep rocking that cowbell tomorrow night. She's like looking at me like, I took it out last night. I was like, cowbell.
You brought it home?
Oh, and I took it out last night out of the bag?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was just looking at me. She's like,
not pleased.
We're going to really take that in?
I mean,
said,
they're
yes.
everywhere.
I said, it's everywhere, hon.
They're
She's like, I
everywhere
know,
in the
but
arena.
where do I don't know where to put it. She's worried about how we're going to carry all these items.
You just carry it.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Megadeth Night. Powerful as you may be, there's no curse. Enjoy the game. Tall Chinese guy, by the way, 4-0 at games.
Oh.
So there you have it.
Take him with you.
Let's get back to the Kings here. So great day for Kings fans. 25-18, 5 straight, 3 seed. And we were talking about this. If we want to jump, we'll do the Cowboys stuff tomorrow, Ralad. We'll do that Cowboys radio guy tomorrow. We'll save that. Just want to remind people how it sounded in LA as that game ended last night. That was from cool. Malik Andrews on Twitter. Light the beam, chanted across the arena. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
What's great about Kings fans, someone found a tweet from a Laker fan saying, oh, that wouldn't happen when we're hosting the Kings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after they did that to the Clippers.
and that Lakers fan quickly deleted their social media account out of embarrassment.
They were in private, I'm sure.
Yeah. What was that? Also good news, if you haven't heard, I don't know how you wouldn't hear. Maybe you were at work. Maybe you didn't catch the morning show with Dave and Jason. But Deuce and Mo have joined Sactown Sports. Deuce and Mo will start on Monday, this Monday, January 23rd. Deuce and Mo from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m.
What's on at 2, though, Dave?
You do ask the right question, Ramie. Ramie and I will be on from 2 to 6 now. We are picking up an extra hour in the afternoon. So Cattles and Ramie from 2 to 6. So Deuce and Mo 11 to 2. Cattles and Ramie 2 to 6. For now, Dave did hint that there might be some tweaks to this, but for now, Dave and Jason will be in the mornings from 6 to 11, 5 hours. So it'll be 6 to 11, Dave and Jason, 11 to 2, Deuce and Mo, 2 to 6. Yours truly, Cattles and Ramie. We're very excited to add Deuce and Mo, 12 hours of local and live programming. It is fantastic.
It's a murderer's row.
Absolutely
right
fantastic.
There. Yeah.
And keep the vibes rolling, because I think the Kings should add to this team as they sit here, the 3rd seed. And I saw a note today from Michael Scotto, Ramie, Hoops Hype.
I saw this too, and I thought of you when I saw it.
Talks about the Hornets and several guys being on the block. Rozier, Oubre, McDaniels, and also Mason Plumlee.
You've brought this up before.
And Scotto says that because Plumlee is an expiring contract, probably would not take more than maybe a second-round pick or 2. Yes.
He's a giant expiring contract.
Yes, that's right. They're so valuable, as we know. Yes. No recency bias. I know Rashawn Holmes played well last night, but even Coach Jay Triano told us earlier the style of play was different last night. Plumlee, I think, would be a great fit for this team. The backup Domas, physicality, he can rebound. He's a very good passer. The only question I have is whether or not Monty wants more versatility out of that backup center spot. Does he want somebody who can stretch the floor? Because that's not Plumlee. But if you want somebody who's going to get down there in the paint, be physical, rebound, can also pass from the elbow, can pass from the elbow, can pass from above the break, all those things. If the Kings could add Plumlee and a 3-and-D wing off the bench, I'd feel very good about that deadline.
How you feeling about that?
I would take Cam Reddish. There are questions about Reddish, his work ethic and stuff. He has not worked now for 2 teams. Talent-wise, I take Reddish. I would take him in a heartbeat. But I don't know if I would rely on Reddish.
How about Boogie Cousins?
You want to do that again? Is that how you want to end the show?
Yes.
That's really how you want to end this one?
Yeah.
I'll take Rashawn Holmes over.
Wow.
Great day for Kings fans. 7 games above 500.
3 seed.
3 seed in the West.
Pretty good.
Deuce and Mo joining the brand. We can say there's some, ready for this? Some momentum at Sactown Sports.
I see what you did there.
Chris and JJ, thank you guys.
Like
Simone, thank you.
What you did there.
Ramie, I still don't like you. We'll be out tomorrow at the Sportsman's Expo. Until then, he's Ramie. I'm Cattles. It's Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports.
I feel like the best thing I can give you is me.
Now hurry, go on to the altar. I know you ain't a